Hello, I'm Tramaki. This is my first ever YouTube speed paint video I'm going to be doing. Um, as you can see, I am very new and inexperienced to the whole recording and editing part of it. This is actually an older video that I first recorded, um, only because I couldn't figure out how editing shit worked. So I've been working on learning that. And I can finally say think I kind of got it figured out a little bit. So woo! Um, One of the things I've always noticed about speed paints like this is that you can either go the more quiet route where you have your speed paint playing and some royalty free music in the background, or you can just talk over and explain your process. And I really enjoyed watching a lot of YouTubers back in the day talking over, explaining their process, how they do these things, because, it helped me grow as an artist too. Um, I would definitely say with my rough sketches, which is what you're seeing now, very, very messy. I have what would be called a very messy art style, um, at least in my opinion, because a lot of sketches are sketches. You're basically blocking out your shapes. You're figuring out what you want to do, where it's going to go, where everything lies. But with your final product, I see a lot of artists going towards more of like a clean line art, and honestly, I respect them. Great. I can't do it myself. It's like my brain doesn't function when I try to make it super duper clean, and it kind of loses some of my personality when I try to make it clean. I'll say that clean line art's bad. I really do enjoy clean line art. Wish I could do it, I just can't. This character I'm drawing in this is named Aszda. She is an ex-Fae princess in my story, one of my several stories. Been working on these characters for years now. She got basically thrown out for not loving another Fae by her mother, the queen. And as you can see, you may be thinking, well, lucky she's a fairy princess, but where the fuck are her wings, right? No, as punishment, her mother was like, I strip you of your wings and your status as my daughter. Good riddance. And she's just like, Ma, the fuck, Ma? And so, while you may have heard a little bump there, I apologize. I was making sure my computer didn't fall asleep on me recording this. Maybe, okay, here's where I'm starting, like, actual line art. And you'll see what I mean by, like, it's a bit cleaner. It's not as messy. But, it's still got that messy, hand-drawn feeling. I really like to lean more towards, pens that have a more sketchy feeling, because it feels like I'm drawing an actual paper. And you might realize that I go off on tangents a lot. I don't usually finish a thought. Unfortunately, that's just a thing for me. Once I'm looking at stuff, it's kind of hard. I'm pretty sure a lot of creators could relate to that, at the very least. But I really like Aszda, so I'll go back into Aszda. Okay. For her, she's very much, while she is a princess, she's definitely not very princessy. She doesn't really have that much of a personality when it comes to being a princess. I've always imagined her as more of like a trickster, a troublemaker. She's the kind of person who'd be at a casino dealing out your cards, and she'd say, well, better luck next time that she robs you blind. Yeah, she's really smart. Really, really, really smart. She has like a whole bunch of ass time to read a whole bunch of ass books. You may be thinking my phrasing right there was a little weird. That's because my brain is trying to compute, because I'm not writing a script, I'm watching this as I go. Which, I've noticed a lot of YouTubers write scripts before they draw. That's probably a smart thing to do, but I can't work like that. I don't work like that. Hands. Sometimes for me, they're really good, other times they really fucking suck. This is like an example of one of my hands being actually somewhat good. Like, it's definitely one of the hands that I'm prouder of. Cause God, our hand's a bitch. Hands are such a bitch. Aszda. Back to Aszda. I'm gonna get sidetracked a lot, um, as you get to know me and my characters. It's just how my brain works. Aszda has two partners in my storyline, Zinth and, how horrible, Sade. I forgot their name for a second there. Oh no. It's like when the anxiety gets to you and you're trying to think, but then your brain just yeah, she has two partners, and the majority of the reason why she got kicked out is because in her Fae kingdom, her mom was just like, Fae are only supposed to mix with other Fae because, you know, that would dirty the royal bloodline. And she's just like, no, these beaches are all boring as fuck. I don't like any of you. You're weird as shit. And so she basically ends up joining the rest of the group. I'll probably explain later on more about them if I make more speed paints regarding them. I probably will. Don't worry. But I'm gonna focus more on her story with this. She ends up getting rescued after the general takes over. And she's kind of like locked up away from everyone else. Because, you know, her mom's a bitch. And one of the things I really wanted to highlight is the fact that she's not very trusting. She's gonna look at you and be like, okay, I'm not gonna step near you. I'll act all nice. I'll act all carefree and shit, but I have a lot of shit going on in my brain. And I'm constantly watching you to make sure you're not, like, you know, gonna fuck with me. I love her. I love her to bits. She's very mischievous. She likes playing pranks on people. As all good Fae know to do. I mean, like, what, like, realistical Fae story have you ever had? Like, actual Fae, not, like, Disney fairies, but, like, actual Fae, in which they have been some sort of trickster who's gonna, like, you know, fuck you up a little bit if you fuck up. That's kind of like the vibe I was going with her. I need to do some more research on the Fae. It'd be lovely. I like to think that her magic, and she does have magic, is more based on plant life. Not specific, like, not like general plant life, but, vines, usually. I think like vines, maybe kudzu, so we all know how much of a bitch kudzu is. Ignore the reference images. Those were from a beach drawing I did, where I decided, what would it be like if all of my characters went to the beach together? What would they wear? How would they interact? So you know, no sus reasonings for that. Back to the thing. She's definitely... My brain blanked there. I can't even remember what I was saying. Lovely. This is gonna happen a lot. I assure you. It's a normal thing. Maybe I should talk about my process a bit more. With the coloring, I like to to set up like a reference image, or like I like to play with the colors, see what I like. And once I get down what I know and what I like for that character, what makes sense for that character, I'll go back and I'll go to other images that I've drawn of them, use it as like a common reference for colors. And it helps me just keep it consistent. That's the main reason I do it, consistency. That way it doesn't look different in a different photo. Sometimes I'll make little tweaks if that's what the environment around the photo needs, but other than that, usually the colors stay around the same for each character. That's right, I was talking about her magic, wasn't I? We can get back to that now, since I've talked about colors. Okay, good, I went back and fixed that. Lol. Okay, I was watching that and I was like, did you forget? It's like, I don't think you did. But, her magic system, while she does do a lot of vine plant magic, she also likes to attack with cards. like, you know, poker cards, like playing cards, because I was thinking, what would not, like, it would suit her so fucking well. Because she's very much a gambling woman. She's just gonna, like, throw out her cards with a confident smirk and the best poker face you've ever met, and you'll be like, I wonder if she's gonna fold. No, she's fucking calling your ass. I don't know a lot of poker. I don't. I'm only going off of what I do know. It's not a lot. Yeah. So don't blame me if my poker wording is wrong. I am trying. For her, I kind of like imagine her just like throwing fucking cards with like little hidden razor blades in the fucking cards themselves, like on the edges, just like yeeting it and fucking slicing someone's throat. she'd be great. She's definitely more of a. If I like had to like classify her in like D&D terms, maybe I'd probably go for like bard plus rogue, and then you have her. It's the best way I can describe her. Have I played a lot of D&D to know the specific subclasses? No, I have not. Unfortunately, I am a lonely bitch, and I don't have many friends IRL. I have a handful, and they're a great bunch. It's just hard when all of you live so far apart. And you all have conflicting schedules. Yeah, I figured with a lot of brain cells depleting my brain, obviously, because my brain once again went blank, I'm gonna try and keep this as unfiltered as I possibly can. I think it'd be kind of fun, like a new take. People have probably done this before, but not of what I've seen. Just gotta ramble. 25 minutes about a character that I made. Hell yeah, I can do that. With, this particular piece, I liked what I do with my shading process is I go through, I first cell shade everything, get my basis down, and then after that I'll go and I'll kind of blend out some of the colors to make it feel more natural. As you can see right here comes the blending process. I tried my best not to zoom in too much to give you guys, like, not fuck up your eyes, because with my usual art, I go in and out and I zoom in a lot. I abuse the hell out of the zoom feature, which I've noticed a lot of other people, a lot of the artists I usually watch, don't really do that. At least when I was growing up, they didn't. Nowadays, I see it a lot, and it makes me happy because I didn't be alone in that. Yeah, I really enjoy doing hair, drawing hair, coloring hair. It's one of my favorite parts of any piece, doing the hair. It is so fun. Okay, if there was a weird pause, I am so sorry. A younger brother of mine decided that he was going to come into my room and interrupt me while I was talking to ask me a question. That's okay, he can ask questions, but I wasn't expecting it. So that's why there's a weird cutoff. Woo-hoo. Back to what I was saying. I really enjoy doing hair. It's my favorite thing to do ever. Because you can make hair so, like, unique and stylized. You can make it your own. You can... there's so much you can do with hair. Love it. It's great. Hands, feet, mortal enemies. Hair, though? Love of my life. As you can see with my smudging system, I like to blend out some things. Other things I don't blend out as much, because I do absolutely love how cell shading looks. Unfortunately, there's like some demon in me that's just like, you must smudge, and you must enjoy it. I do enjoy it, I really do. The cell shading looks so pretty. I think I'm gonna try to do a piece in the near future where it's like just cell shading. I will admit, though, that this piece was recorded a long time ago. The only reason I don't have a lot of more recent pieces is mainly because of the fact that I forget to record myself doing them. I'm a forgetful bitch. I really am. I was listening back to when I was recording a few seconds ago, and I realized it sounded very gritty. Very gritty. So I'm trying not to go into the deep rage. Because it's just goofy fun times. And here's me doing a thing that I love doing with all see-through fabrics. No, I'm going back to shading arms. But with this see-through fabrics, what I like to do for anything really see-through is I'll when I'm coloring, I'll do like the color that I would want it to be if it was like a solid color. I do that around the lines on the inside of where the fabric's laying. Or like, for instance, where fabric's gonna bunch up. That's another spot in which I will gladly add the main color. It's gonna be the most, I think the word's opaque. My brain's blanking on the actual terminage, but I think that's it. Not judge me. Sometimes I do fancy shit in the eyes. Most days I do not, unfortunately. With the see-through shit, I do that, and then I leave the center more, like, see-through. Like, you can see what's going on behind it. And what I do is I'll, like, blend it inwards. You may be wondering, here, why are you going around and erasing every little fucking bit when you have this wonderful tool called a selection tool? There are pieces in which I didn't, like, fully collect my line art. That's right there. It's, like, right there with the hair. You see it? Right there. Yeah. That's one of the pieces in which I forgot to connect the line art. And frankly, I'm a lazy bitch. I didn't feel like going back and redoing that bit. So, I decided I was gonna erase. I usually do end up erasing around everything, just to be sure, because sometimes selection tool misses little bits. Because I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck alpha locks are, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of advice in that. I've been learning. I've been learning. It's been a while since I've drawn this piece in particular. I've been learning. Don't worry. But yeah, I also kind of like going around and erasing everything that comes out of the lines. It's kind of like a nice accuracy trial for myself, and it's really relaxing after going through and doing all of that blending. I do enjoy blending, but sometimes it's important to me too. What I like to do for my colored line art is I copy the layer below with the colors, and then I paste it over top of the line art in a separate layer. I turn that layer to pin light, as you can see, and what I do is I blend it all. And it's so much fun. Ever since I figured out I could use pen light to do colored line art, it's become a staple in my coloring and lighting experiences. And also, it looks so cool! Yeah, it's really fun. I like to blend it out. I kind of like to try and keep it more earthy. Earthy? Based on whatever skin tone the person has towards the center. Like if I'm, going out towards the hair, I'll like leave a little bit of a pink to match the skin for her. Or if it's like a darker skin tone for one of my more darker characters, then I'm gonna kind of like blend it outwards into the hair, depending on the hair. Because sometimes the hair color is cool as fuck and doesn't need anything else. But I really fuck, I'm doing gravelly again. I really enjoy hair, if you couldn't tell. And this is where a lot of the lines start to come in. As you can see with my line art, it is very I know some people would call it chicken scratch. I have seen people call line art like mine chicken scratch. Good for them, I guess. No hate, but I think we should just enjoy how we do art. Because art's something that makes you happy. Yeah. And I like to think about colors a lot when I'm drawing. What am I doing here? Oh, I finally used the selection tool. As you can see, I'm struggling a lot. Computer crashing sounds, window error. And here's me utilizing the magic selection tool. Isn't it beautiful? I do know how technology works. Yay! I think, yeah, I end up, like, realizing again that, I did miss that piece, so I'm gonna have to go in and do that part by hand, as I'm doing now. And when you zoom in, it looks really fugly. But that's okay, because no one's gonna be paying that much attention to the damn details. All I'm gonna say is, do your art, be happy about it. If it doesn't come out like you want to, that's okay. Art's linear. Not, what the fuck? It's not linear, brain? It's a roller coaster. I meant to say it isn't linear. Art isn't linear, and some days your art can be looking really, really good and you love it. And then other days you look at your art and be like, what the fuck is this hand? I experience that a lot, but that's a part of art. It's never going to be the same all the time. Oh, and here's what I do with my lighting. We're onto the lighting phase, one of my favorite parts. I don't know what the fuck this brush is actually called. I call it my little spotlight brush, because it adds my highlights. And if I really wanted to, I could cry inside. Maybe wondering, what about shading? Whoop-pow! Shading's coming soon to a station near you. Here comes shading. And I use that with a brush that's frankly quite the opposite of the brush I was just showing off. And my only problem with these brushes is that they're the kinds to where if you lay down a layer and then you go back over that layer, it's going to make it darker. So I have to do all of this in one trip if I want it to be even. Unfortunately, there's a thing called scrolling up that I have to do, so you'll see in a few minutes. I try my best to kind of not let it affect it too much. But I usually, for lighting and shading, I use purple for my shading because it just feels so nice to look at for me. And for the lighting, I'll usually use a light yellow or light orange, red, blue, depending. It really just depends on your background, what kind of vibe you're going for. For instance, like if it's a warmer palette, you want to use your warmer colors. If it's like nighttime, you want to use your cooler colors like blue, purple, yellow. Yellow? Yellow? Excuse me, brain. Blue, purple, and green. Green is now yellow, apparently, in my brain. Here's me selecting a bunch of shit, erasing all the other shit. Oh yeah, and I also use this thing called Gaussian blur, which is my best friend, to lessen the strength of the lighting and shadows. That way it kind of like, it doesn't like fuck you in the head like a waste explosion. Nuclear explosion? Explosions, yeah. Explosions are great. And I'm starting on the background! I know a lot of artists don't like backgrounds. They're one of my favorite things to do because they're just so fun, because I get to play around with all the brushes and the textures, and it's a lovely experience for anyone who's involved. And also, I just really enjoy it. It's fun for me. And I'm going with, like, ham with my leaf brush. You're gonna see me use that a lot in a lot of my speed paints because I love leaves, and leaves are fun. And, like, you know, she's a plant magic user, so of course leaves make sense for her. With my layering style, I kind of like to do darkest to lightest, depending on if there's more behind it. I'll sometimes do it on, like, different layers depending on how far back. The further back it is, the more underside of the layer goes. And so here comes in the shading again. It's a lot of yellow, right? That's for my warm sunlight. And now I'm coming in with that purple again, and it's making everything pop. And that's why I love it. And we're almost done with this video. Yay! As I said, this is an older piece. I'm adding my little sparkles. So the date on there might look funny, because, you know, it's from a while ago. but I needed to get this out here. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy. Stick around. Watch another video when I finally get it out. And remember to record something. Thank you! Bye-bye!